Why did the farmer plant his smartphone in the middle of the maize field? The farmer wanted a good connection to Africa's food future. Clock that.
Karibu! We are live at the Kenya International Convention Center for Day 2 of the African Food Show 2026. There are over 200 global exhibitors from 30 plus countries here to show off their cutting-edge farm technology, processing machinery, their live cooking and barista showdowns.
From the food to the table innovations to huge deals, this is Africa's future.
Principal secretaries represented here, the FAO representative in Kenya, Madam Farai Zimudzi, representatives of the United Nations and development partners, members of the diplomatic corps, captains of industry and private sector leaders, distinguished delegates, farmers, innovators, friends of agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Why did the farmer plant his smartphone in the middle of the maize field? The farmer wanted a good connection to Africa's food future. Clock that. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. I stand before you today humbled by this invitation because this, in truth, is an invitation to reflect on the very soil from which our nation, our continent, rises each morning. When the Food and Agriculture Organization requested that I open this conference, I understood it not simply as a ceremonial duty, but as a recognition that the transformation of the Kenya's agri-food systems is, first and foremost, a government-wide undertaking, one that belongs to the cabinet table and not any single ministry alone. Allow me then to speak briefly to that role before I have the honor of declaring this conference open. The theme chosen for this gathering, Transforming Agri-Food Systems for Healthy Diets from Seed to Plate, captures a truth that Cabinet has increasingly had to reckon with, that agriculture does not sit in a silo, that agriculture concerns each and every one of us in a fundamental manner. It is very intricately threaded through health, it's threaded through trade, through industry, through finance, through environment, through land issues, through education, and through the daily dignity of every Kenyan household. Indeed, a decision on irrigation infrastructure is also a decision on nutrition. A decision on import tariffs is also a decision on the price of a mother's shopping basket. A decision on climate finance is also a decision on whether a smallholder farmer in Baringo or Bungoma has a harvest to sell the next season. It is precisely because of these threads that run through every sector that coordination at the highest level of government is therefore indispensable. The Cabinet's task is to ensure that our agricultural ambitions are not pursued in isolation. We have heard from previous speakers saying that the farmer should not be left so vulnerable, bearing a huge risk and having to absorb it. Indeed, we have heard that it should not just be about food security. It is also about competitive food systems as we go forward. We need to align with our health priorities under the Ministry of Health, our trade priorities and industrialization agenda, the devolution framework that empowers county governments closest to the farmer, and our climate and environmental commitments. This is a whole of government perspective that Kenya brings to the dialogue, and it is one that we take very, very seriously. Under the leadership of His Excellency the President, government has placed food security and agricultural transformation firmly at the center of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Through the agriculture sector transformation and growth strategy, through flagship interventions, you will see this prioritization. Indeed, with initiatives such as the Galana Kulalu Food Security Project, the Mama Kitchen Garden Program, there is heavy promotion of household nutrition. Through expanded investment in the National Agriculture and Rural Inclusive Growth Project, the continued modernization of our extension, data, and market information systems under KIAMIS, Cabinet has worked to ensure that agriculture is resourced, coordinated, and protected as a national priority, not merely as a rural concern, but an economic and public health imperative for every Kenyan. We are equally alive to the paradox this conference rightly names, that Kenya, like much of our continent, now carries a double burden. It is the same communities we still confront, that still confront stunting and micronutrient deficiency. We are witnessing rising rates of obesity and diet-related non-communicable diseases. This is not a contradiction to be managed by one ministry. It is a systems challenge that demands that agriculture, health, trade, and industry plan together, budget together, and account together for the diets our food system ultimately produces. Cabinet's role is to hold that alignment and to ensure that no single sector's success come at the expense of another's mandate. Indeed, we are all interrelated. We are joined at the hip. Government cannot, therefore, and does not intend to do this alone. The strength of gatherings such as this is therefore very, very much appreciated, because this is the kind of teamwork that makes the dream happen. It is in this kind of sitting, this kind of setup, that lies partnerships that will be forged between the private sector and the private investors willing to place capital behind agribusiness, between our research and academic institutions and the innovators who translate science into practical tools for farmers, between development partners such as FAO, IFAD, and UNIDO, who bring both resources and rigor, and between national government and the county governments, cooperatives, community organizations who understand local realities best. I am therefore very encouraged to see all these various stakeholders represented in this room today. I therefore urge you, over the course of these last 2 days to deliberate, to move beyond diagnosis towards commitment, to identify the policy reforms that will genuinely unlock commitments, to identify the financing instruments that will de-risk agribusiness for our youth and women entrepreneurs, to identify the technologies that can be scaled, not merely showcased, to identify the community-led solutions already working quietly in our counties that deserve national attention and therefore national resources consequently. Government, for its part, commits to three things. The first is to listen closely to the outcomes of this conference. The second is to carry these kind of outcomes forward into policy. And the third is to ultimately find these outcomes within the budgetary decision-making process at cabinet level. Transforming our agri-food systems from seed to plate is a long journey, but it is one that Kenya is prepared to walk with resolve and in partnership with each and every one of you gathered here. As I end, it is now my distinct honor, on behalf of the Government of the Republic of Kenya, to declare the Africa Food Show 2026 conference officially open. Asanteni sana. God bless Africa.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. What's your name?
My name's Bryony and I'm from South Africa.
Oh, pleasure. I'm seeing it colorful over here. What do we have on display today?
So what we have here is something very unique and definitely not seen often at the expos. These are called meringues. So these are made with egg white and sugar. And they're just different colors, not different flavors. But it's really a nice, eye-catching, wonderful thing for children and adults.
Oh, that's lovely. And where can people find you?
So at the moment, we're just based in South Africa, and we're in quite a number of stores, about 200 of them in South Africa. But we've come to the expo in the hope of actually exporting and importing. So now we're sussing out the market, seeing what the Kenyan people think of the product, and so far it's been amazing. And so hopefully our next step will be that we'll find somebody to help import the product into Kenya.
Okay, hoping to see you on board. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. What's your name and tell us about your company and why are you here today?
Good afternoon. My name is Noma Tembalanga. I am from Inyamayetu, a South African company where we do livestock production, we do meat processing, we also do skills development, and then we also, and we are an accredited skills provider with Agrisita in South Africa.
Okay, where do you source your products?
We've got a game farm in the northwest in Brits, where we've got our livestock, which is your cattle, your pigs, and the game itself. So during hunting season specifically, in South Africa, we've got a hunting season from May till the end of August, and during that season, that's where we go hunting ourselves, or we also buy the carcasses from the international hunters that are coming in to do their trophy hunting, and then we also process their meat into different meat products such as your salami, your cheese grillers, and your Russians. Not only that, we further process the bones into these products that you're seeing here called souvenirs. So we use, this is a giraffe bone, by the way. So it's either you can put your name, your company logo, whatever it is that you want on the bone and keep it as a souvenir. We've got your ostrich egg, which is now turned into a jewelry box. We've got your pens using an impala horn that you can use to write with. We've got your dishing spoons, we've got your corkscrew. So that is what we do. Less on us making sales and profits. That's what makes us different. Not excluding the fact that we've got young female employees. So we're actually teaching the youth and bringing them into our space. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us today and have a good afternoon.
Same to you too. Thank you.
See you next year.
All right.
morning, Nairobi. My name is Terry Moikamba, and I am going to be your MC for the day. And our chief guests, the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mrs. Mercy Wanjao, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Agriculture, Dr. Paul Rono, Ms. Joanne Atieno Atiang, representing the Principal Secretary for the State Department for Livestock Development, Honorable Jonathan Mweke, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, head of representatives of the United Nations agencies with us today, FAO, IFAD, and UNIDO, leaders of the private sector, farmer organizations, research institutions, civil society, our organizers, MIE Events and Global Exhibitions, Inc., exhibitors, delegates, friends, a very good morning and welcome to the opening ceremony of the 4th edition of the Africa Food Show. Now, I'm going to start with just a quick show of hands, and there are no wrong answers, okay? Who in this room grows food? Okay. Who processes it or is in the manufacturing? A show of hands? Wonderful. Who regulates it? Policymakers? Anybody? A show of hands? Wonderful. And who just eats it, just like me? You know what? That is the entire value chain that we are talking about, from seed to plate. And it is sitting right here in this hall. It's not by accident. It's the whole point of this week. The theme is transforming agri-food systems for healthy diets from seed to plate. And I'm going to need you to say that with me one last time. From seed to plate. And the conveners are the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Department, the Ministry of Health and Food, the Ministry of Health and Food and Agriculture Organizations of the United Nations. And this conversation rests on 4 pillars that you're going to hear today: technology, sustainable financing, partnerships, and community-led solutions. So those 4 pillars are going to be repeated to you over and over again. And right now, we'd just like to welcome, to have our welcome remarks. And I would like to invite our first speaker, who is the man whose team has been in this building since Sunday. He's the country director of Global Exhibitions, Inc., the Kenyan subsidiary of MIE Events, and he leads the organizing team of the Africa Food Show. So please welcome Mr. Edwin Masivo.
Good morning. As you can see, my name is Edwin Masivo. It's always a pleasure to stand before you. I remember 4 years ago when we stood here to launch our first edition. We did not anticipate that 4 years later, we will be having a show that brings together more than 10 countries. This year, we have 12 countries represented in this show. And we can only thank the partners that have been walking the journey with us. So without going into much details, allow me to read a speech that I had prepared. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 4th edition of Africa Food Show 2026. Allow me to start by recognizing our chief guest this morning, the Honorable Mercy, the Secretary to the Cabinet. Thank you, Madam, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come and be with us today. Your presence here says a great deal about how seriously government takes this industry, and we do not take that as a company for granted. Allow me to also say a special thank you to our 2 key conference and knowledge partners, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN. Your support has gone well beyond a name on brandings out here. You have worked with us in shaping the conference, helping us think through a theme and an agenda that speaks directly to where this industry needs to go. This kind of partnership is very rare, and we do not take it lightly. Thank you once again, sincerely, for lending us your expertise and your credibility and for running with us on this event. Allow me to also recognize our exhibitors from the 12 different countries, from China to Malaysia, from Egypt to the UAE, South Africa to the Republic of Congo, South Korea, Italy, and of course, right here from Kenya. To our buyers who've started trooping in, our partners, and every one of you who has traveled, some of you from quite far, to be part of this show. Thank you for choosing to spend the next 3 days with us. Before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, let me pass on apologies on behalf of our group chairman and managing director, Mr. David Wang. He had every intention of being here himself, but because of the last-minute changes that we all know about, we were to open this show yesterday. He could not be able to travel from Dubai. And he conveys how disappointed he is to miss this opening ceremony, as he has always been here over the last 3 editions, and is very confident that this show will speak for itself over the next 3 days. Now let me speak briefly about the show itself. Africa Food Show has over the years grown into one of the most important gatherings on this continent because we do it in different African countries. Anyone who is in the food and beverage value chain understands that this show has added a bit of value in the industry. This year is no different. We have brought together exhibitors, buyers, distributors, and processors from across different countries, all under this roof. For the 3 days of real business, deals will be made here, partnership will start here, and that on its own is going to be worth our time spending here until Saturday. But allow me to draw your attention to 2 other things happening that I think you will genuinely enjoy. The first one is called Mezani. We have pulled together some of the most talented chefs from around the country to prepare a range of Kenyan cuisines, all drawn from the Kenya recipe book. This is not display behind a glass. It's food you can actually taste. I will encourage every one of you, no matter how packed your schedule is, to find a few minutes to walk over and sample what our chefs have prepared. It is a proper celebration of what we cook and eat as Kenyans. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised by the range that we have on offer. The second is our barista competition, which is happening in a room downstairs. Over the 3 days of this show, some of the country's most skilled baristas will be going head-to-head, competing on nothing less than the art of brewing the best Kenyan coffee. If you have never watched a barista competition up close, come see what real craft looks like. Kenyan coffee has a story that deserves to be told well, and these baristas will tell it better than any of us could from this particular podium. So as you move through the hall over the next 3 days, do your business, sign your deals, meet your buyers, but also take a moment to enjoy what this show has to offer. Sample the food at Mezani, watch the baristas at work, meet someone new. Let this be a show you remember, not just one you attended. On behalf of our group MIE, the company I lead, Global Exhibitions, our chairman and managing director, asanteni sana for being here.
Hello, everybody. I'm here interviewing an individual from Royal Wraps. He'll introduce himself and what it is that he does.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel. I'm from Royal Wraps. So we're a company that manufacture and produce cling film and foil. So our cling film is meant to keep your meat fresh, especially when you're cooking. Helps keep your meat warm, very thick, and we have the longest meters in the country right now. And then also we sell cling film, which you use to keep your products fresh and long lasting.
Thank you so much. And how long have you guys been working in the process and everything?
6 to 5 years. A very good company in the market.
How have you found the expo for today?
The expo is very nice. I liked the way the companies are expressing themselves, and it's really easy to find new companies and distributors for your product. And I love the way people are just open to everything.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely having you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Rayvon Mubisa.
Why are you here today?
I am here today to learn about how the business is moving around, basically measuring on agribusiness. For today, there was a lot that was being showcased in terms of the food production, the industry itself, and the final products in the market.
Lovely. And have you enjoyed your experience in the expo today?
I have actually enjoyed myself today. I was able to learn a lot, not just from Nairobi, Kenya, but many countries, Malaysia, the Chinese, the Korean, and I've also been able to understand the business that's going outside there and how the market right now is moving, and how to benefit myself in my position as a student leaving the university, joining the markets.
Lovely. See you on the next one.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
What an absolute food fest this has been. From the bold regional flavors to the game-changing technology, the Africa Food Show has truly showcased the continent's culinary future. Thank you to all the guests, stakeholders, and exhibitors who made it possible. Asante Sana from Nairobi.